Immanuel Velikovsky believed that the Earth had been violently disturbed by the close approach of planet-sized bodies. He suggested that the Doomsday Comet was in fact an errant planet. And conventional scientists called him a madman. So I was venturing into dangerous territory. Dangerous because the deeper I went, the more the evidence seemed to support Velikovsky.
The land of Sumer, a cradle of civilization in ancient Mesopotamia. A prototype of the early goddess figure is the Sumerian Inanna. The texts describe her as a great dragon called the pure torch that flares in the sky. Inanna herself declares, "I was the blazing, the brilliant fire. I was the fire whose flame and sparks rained down on the rebel land. I was the conflagration which shone forth in the heavens when the heavens shook and the earth trembled and quaked." Who then was this comet-like goddess, Inanna? For the very first astronomers of ancient Mesopotamia, the goddess Inanna is not an unknown cometary intruder. She is a planet. The planet Venus. In later Babylonian astronomy, the planet Venus was still remembered as the lamenting star. It was called the witch star. In the Americas, Aztec histories remembered Venus as the great feathered serpent, and they called Venus the smoking star, the very phrase they used for a comet. The stargazers of Peru knew Venus as Chasca, the long-haired star, the most common phrase for the comet among ancient peoples. But the goddess wore two faces. Before she acquired her terrible aspect, she shone in the sky with awe-inspiring beauty. We came to know the goddess as the Greek Aphrodite, the Latin Venus, daughter of heaven, the prototype of the beautiful princess. One of her names was Aphrodite Kumeathel, the long-haired or fiery-haired Aphrodite. In the language of ancient astronomy, Aphrodite Kumeathel means the comet Venus. The Greeks and Romans shared the tradition of an archetypal comet of extraordinary beauty, radiating its hair in all directions. This was the Roman portrait of that comet, a symbol of celestial power and glory. Its name was the Star of Venus. So we're not just dealing here with princesses and angry goddesses and serpent dragons that turn out to be the Doomsday Comet. We are confronting the mythical parent of comets, a comet inspiring both veneration and dread, a comet that turns out to be a planet, Venus.
understand that the spatial relationships between planets are defined by an empirical observation that is called Bode's law. No self-respecting astronomer has ever entertained the idea of a planet taking the form of a comet.
Venus being a comet is throw it out here.
Throw it out there. For evidence, Velikovsky had cited ancient records around the world, a completely discredited source in popular scientific opinion. Yet I too was finding such an amazing continuity in these same ancient records. And if ancient testimony counts as evidence, then all of the mythical archetypes will cry out for recognition, not just the princess, but the hero as well.
In the St. George story, there is the dragon and there is the princess. Then there is St. George himself. If the princess originally meant the planet Venus, who then was St. George? From North America to Mesoamerica to South America, from ancient Mesopotamia to ancient Egypt, we see the warrior hero arising to defeat powers of chaos. The Greek Apollo, Hercules, Perseus, Theseus, or coyote or raven of Native American lore. Most of us have assumed these figures have nothing to do with astronomical bodies. Hercules was born to fight chaos monsters, vanquishing the gigantic Nemean lion, slaying the Hydra. Though remembered as the child of Zeus, he is usually seen as a man walking the earth. But earlier versions of Hercules, the Egyptian heroes Shu-Anur or Horus, do not inhabit the earth. When they challenge the dragon of chaos, they wage that battle in the heavens. The original Hercules was a celestial power. In fact, Greek and Roman astronomy identified the warrior hero as a planet. The planet Mars. The North American Pawnee remember an ancestral warrior who defeated the powers of darkness in remote times. To find the warrior in the sky, they pointed to a planet, Mars. The Aborigines of Australia did the same. So too the Chinese, the Babylonians, and the peoples of the South Pacific. Wherever we find the doomsday theme, we find the chaos monster, the angry or lamenting goddess Venus, but also the warrior hero, the planet Mars. What conceivable events could have led to this universal memory?
It would take volumes to tell the story of the warrior hero. That's because the character is so visible and so active. One can easily overlook a more passive figure in the myths, an almost forgotten personality looming mysteriously in the background.
A worldwide tradition says that before a king ever ruled on earth, a prototype of kings arose in heaven. Father of kings, model of the good king, the universal monarch. The Aztec Quetzalcoatl, the Egyptian Ra, the Hindu Brahma, Every culture had its own universal monarch. It is said that the local king is responsible for the prosperity of the nation. In the reign of a good king, the earth flowers abundantly. Why is this? It is because the universal monarch, who set the standards of kingship, brought forth a remarkable condition in primeval times, an epoch called the Golden Age. The natives of Suriname have a poignant memory of a lost epoch. In a time long past, so long past that even the grandmothers of our grandmothers were not yet born, the trees were forever in fruit, the animals lived in perfect harmony, and the little agouti played fearlessly with the beard of the jaguar. For the Hindus, this was the Krita Yuga, or perfect age. The Iranians call it the age of the brilliant Yima. The Chinese, the age of perfect virtue. The Danish, peace of Frodi. It was paradise, the Garden of Eden. And the memory dates to the first expressions of civilization. In the great myths of the world, there is no golden age without a founding king. There is no founding king without a golden age.
It was at this time that someone handed me a 1.5-page summary of an unpublished Velikovsky manuscript. In this summary, Velikovsky had proposed the unthinkable. He said that during the mythical Golden Age, the Earth may have been a satellite of another planet, a gas giant. He identified this planet as Saturn.
According to ancient Greek poets, philosophers, and historians, the present age is just a shadow of the former epoch, called the Golden Age of Kronos. But who was this ancient god, Kronos? All Greek astronomical traditions agreed that Kronos was the planet Saturn. Our own name for the planets came from the Romans. In unison, Roman poets and historians insisted that in a former time Saturn had ruled as a god-king, producing a paradise on earth. It would be almost impossible to overstate the power of this memory among the different cultures.